welcome to Mo's World, the baseball podcast. We're excited to bring you our latest episode, as your feedback is important to us, so please feel free to share your comments.
Awesome.
If you enjoy the podcast, spread the word to your friends. Alrighty, in our 23rd episode of Season 2, we are going to talk about, well, some of the contract options that are available to players who sign a minor league contract. Just this past Sunday, I woke up to reading the news that the Atlanta Braves released catcher James McCann, who was on the AAA team of the Gwinnett Stripers. Now, as I'm reading this, I'm wondering, what the hell? Why did the Braves do that? You know, he was on the Stripers all season, and he was definitely their most consistent hitter and their best hitter. McCann never really hit much in the majors, but he was lighting it up with the Stripers. I mean, he was the regular catcher for the Stripers. He played in 41 games. He was hitting .297, which was second on the team. He had 19 runs scored, 11 doubles, with a team-leading 6 home runs and an OPS of .824, which also led the team. Now, watching and being a fan of the Stripers, McCann was one of the bright points on that team because they didn't hit at all. Now, McCann made his major league debut in 2014 with the Detroit Tigers, and he never really lived up to expectations that many had of him. So he was traded to the White Sox in 2019. There, he went on to have his best years of his career. He caught 118 games while hitting .273 with 26 doubles, 18 homers, and 60 RBIs. That was far and away the best year of his career. All top numbers. Well, he took advantage of his 2 good seasons with the White Sox as he signed a free agent deal with the New York Mets in 2021, and that was his age 31 season. Now, I don't know. Perhaps he had it figured out. Well, he signed a 4-year, $40.6 million deal, and there was a lot of talk that the Mets overpaid for him. And, you know, wow, what are we giving him, $10 million? I think the Mets and everyone else hoped so as well, that he would pan out. Unfortunately, he had 2 piss-poor seasons with the Mets. Holy crap. He only hit .232 his first year and .195 his second year. He was pitiful his second year. He was traded to the Orioles as a backup for Adley Rutschman at that point in 2023. And he played there until becoming a free agent and signing with the Braves, the Atlanta Braves, in March of 2025, just this past, the beginning of this year. Now, I don't know. McCann, did he get any options to sign a major league contract? More than likely, no. So he signs a minor league deal with the Braves. $1 million deal to play in the minors. Now, being an 11-year veteran at the time of signing, though, McCann had some benefits. So, like what? What does being vested as a 10-year Major League Baseball mean? Holy shit, it means a lot. It really does. First of all, 10 years in the major leagues is a lot of time accumulated. Not many players do that, especially anymore. So he's good for a $68,000 minimum retirement plan starting at age 45, and he'll get even more if he waits to collect until age 62. 10 years of Major League Baseball service time also provides players with a full pension. And this is the holy grail for any Major League Baseball player. And the full pension currently sitting around $275,000. But veterans with at least 6 years of Major League Baseball service, they get additional protection from the CBA, the Collective Bargaining Agreement. So if they sign a minor league contract, they receive a $100,000 retention bonus if they're still with the club come late March, prior to spring training. Nice perk. Former Major League Baseball players now playing in the minors, basically they don't negotiate a salary. That's usually the last thing mentioned. You know, these players are looking for the opportunity to reestablish themselves as an option for a Major League Baseball contract. Time and opportunity are the big topics. Now, James McCann signed a $1 million minor league deal, like we said, with the Braves. And that was in March with an opt-out. Now, when an opt-out is involved, the player can choose to leave his minor league team to sign another contract if presented by a Major League Baseball team. For this reason, the Braves released McCann as per his contract to pursue employment in the majors. I find that kind of cool. You know, at first I was wondering why. Why the hell would the Braves release him? He's doing good in Gwinnett. They need him in Gwinnett. He's a good backup and, you know, in case anything happened on the major league level. Now, McCann signed a prorated deal with the Arizona Diamondbacks worth $1 million, which equals about $521,472 for the rest of the year. I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but Arizona was way short on catching depth after placing starter Gabriel Moreno on the injured list with a fractured finger on this past Friday. Now, McCann agreed to a one-year contract for the $760,000 minimum while in the major leagues and $180,000 while in the minors. With 99 days remaining in the season, McCann would receive $404,516 should he remain in the majors the rest of the way. Now, I wish him all the best. The ability to extend your career is something a Major League Baseball player seeks all the time. 10 years in the majors has become a rare occurrence in recent years. We've touched on the topic of the average career in the majors, and currently it sits at only 5.6 years for a position player and 4.8 years for a pitcher. And this number has been refuted a few times. It's even been said to be as low as 2.7 years as well. But regardless, it is a lot shorter than most of us think. Now, this transaction got me thinking. Did the Braves possibly present the option of making the team after spring training? I kind of doubt that. When the Braves decided to sign McCann, they probably did so as an insurance policy when they promoted Drake Baldwin to the Braves. Now, if Baldwin struggled after being promoted, perhaps they could use McCann as a fallback. Now, many players sign minor league contracts before spring training in hopes of making the roster. And these players usually sign opt-outs at that point. And they state if they are not on the Major League Baseball roster at the start of the season, they can opt out to pursue other options. I believe McCann knew, though, that he was the Braves' insurance policy and gambled that he would have success with the Gwinnett Stripers that would bring interest in him and to other teams. He made a good bet, I believe. The Braves truly lack major league talent on their AAA affiliate, and McCann shined. and that kept him as an option for a Major League Baseball team. Have you heard the other interesting minor league signing? I gotta say, I was very surprised to hear this. On June 23rd, the Chicago White Sox signed Noah Syndergaard to a minor league contract. Wow. Yep, that Noah Syndergaard, who was released by the Cleveland Guardians on August 30th, 2023. And he has not pitched in the majors since then. Almost 2 years out of the majors, and he gets another chance. This is huge. If you remember, we did a podcast on Noah Syndergaard's options to come back, which were from Season 1, Episode 14, Noah Syndergaard / CBT Thoughts. Now, if you're curious about what we said then, go back and revisit that one. Because, after this past spring, I didn't think Syndergaard had another chance to hook up with a team. All during the offseason and prior to the start of spring training, I heard zero talk. Nothing. No talk of teams interested in him as an option. Nothing. Now, I think Syndergaard still has CAA Sports as his agents. And honestly, I gotta wonder why. I mean, what the hell did they do? Where was the show presenting Syndergaard to all 30 teams? Where was the blanket statement that would say, kissing ass and I'll do whatever is necessary, implying the bullpen? I believe most teams wanted him to imply he would go to the bullpen, even though he really had no choice. But you got to be behind it. You got to play it up. If you remember the podcast, Syndergaard screwed up by bulking up. And I blame him, the Mets, and all the trainers that were, that allowed him to do that. Big friggin' mistake. As for now, I like Noah Syndergaard. I wish him the best. Will he be able to increase his velocity? I'm not really sure. Will he remake himself as a valuable bullpen commodity? Well, I hope that's his main objective. I see him as a sixth inning, seventh inning option to keep the score close. Now, every team needs bullpen help. Starting pitching is a joke on most teams, so I think Syndergaard must entertain bullpen only. Seriously, the best case scenario is that, he goes to Arizona, loosens up, does a little presenting on where he stands now, and then he gets assigned to the Charlotte Knights of the International League. Let the Knights enjoy some added revenue and some national exposure while hopefully Syndergaard starts to shine as a middle reliever. That is his best bet. Then perhaps the White Sox bring up Syndergaard for their playoff push in September. Yeah, you guys realize I'm totally kidding with that, right? I hope you know that. He could play out the season showcasing himself with the White Sox. Or there is another option. What if Syndergaard proves that perhaps he can be a valuable arm in the bullpen? Now, the White Sox then trade him at the deadline to a team such as the Boston Red Sox, the Philadelphia Phillies, the St. Louis Cardinals, or the Arizona Diamondbacks. What do all those teams have in common? They're all struggling with their bullpens, and they need help of any sort. So, seeing this signing, I think it's cool. I'm all in. Good luck, Noah. And I hope it works out. Well, this kind of wraps up our podcast for today. Thanks for joining us on our 23rd episode of Season 2 of Mo's World, the baseball podcast. Our regular schedule for new episodes is every Friday, with each episode lasting approximately 20 minutes. We appreciate your support and encourage you to share the podcast with your friends. Our next episode will be released on Friday, July 4th. Holy crap, are we into July 4th already? This year is flying. So more than likely, we're going to talk about... no, I'm going to leave you hanging. We look forward to seeing you then. In the meantime, ask yourself, whose world is it? It's Mo's world.